Good morning. Hello. Hi. Getting a bird's eye view of everything here, aren't you? I'm kind of flirting with it just a little bit to see how this is all going to work out. But I guess I'm not doing a very good job here. My helpers have left. And so it's just me. It's just me this morning. So hopefully you'll like what you see, right? And we're going to go and start talking, right? People are waiting. And it's just going to be one of those frank discussions this morning as we talk about what matters. It's not going to be with you for long, right? I like to say that because once upon a time they used to say that be brief and be seated. So today we're just going to go real brief and be seated. Hey, everybody. Good morning. Hey, everybody. How's it going? How's it going? Trusting all is well with everyone and trusting that we have had a good sleep. I've been getting some really good sleep lately, thanks to the Lord. So the bags under my eyes are disappearing. Just thank you, Jesus. I don't know if it's the weather change or what. Or maybe we are moving into spring, so maybe I feel better about stuff. How do you think about that, right? So, as usual, I'm wearing clothes. This is my daughter's sweater, and I like the color, so I kind of just grabbed it. Oh, so forgive me if it looks like, yeah, well, it's not mine. Good morning, everyone. I just want to say that this story circulating with Wendy Williams has me just blown away. I guess it explains everything, doesn't it? It explains why good morning, hey. I guess it explains why she developed an addiction of sorts that sent her into rehab. And I guess it's just one of those things, right? I can't explain it. And so I just want to put it out there. Why do women take back cheating husbands, and men for that matter? Why do men take back cheating partners? Is there an answer? I just want you guys to tell me, and then we're going to talk about that. But I also wanted to talk about the Justin Smollett case. What do you all think about that? Do you think he's guilty? Like, is he guilty, or did something just happen and he used his money and power, his position of money and power to get the prosecutor to drop charges, which doesn't say a lot for the rest of us, because if we don't have money and power and access to prosecutors and very good lawyers who have access to prosecutors and judges, then God help us all. So the case apparently has caught the attention of the president, who says he's going to have the FBI look into it. I guess he feels that there is a gross miscarriage of justice there, and the rest of us are just like, okay. When you get the president involved, then something else is going on, right? Isn't that something? I mean, just think about that. I mean, I don't know. First of all, I didn't think when they charged him with 15 charges, I was like, come on, it's not that serious. Most men don't take cheaters, but women do. Are you serious? So wait just a minute. Wait. This is interesting. So we're talking about cheating spouses. We're going to get into that because that just popped up on my Facebook page is leveled me. But anyway, so I don't know what happened in the Justin Smollett case. I don't know how come all of a sudden all 15 felony charges are dropped. Come on, something's got to stick. You don't throw out 15 charges and all 15 disappear like that. That's a gross. It doesn't say much for the rest of us to hope in the justice system. Justice seems to be bought, right? Then in that case, then I guess R. Kelly needs to get some better lawyers to hire the lawyers of Justice Smollett and and free himself. That does not say a lot, does it? Because how is that possible? How is it possible that all 15 charges, just the prosecutor just said, yeah, the charges were dropped because there was insufficient evidence? The FBI is still looking into the letter. I don't know. I don't like people who fabricate cases. Don't fabricate a story. You see where I'm coming from? There There are enough situations out there for us to pay attention to that need our attention. We don't need to fabricate something. If it didn't happen, it didn't happen, right? That's just how I look at it. So I just want to know. But I can't wait to dive into this story. Why do women take back cheating husbands? So my Facebook friend, let me make sure I give him his dues here. His correct name is Devin Mason. Devin Mason says that women take back cheating partners, but men don't. So then, why do women take back cheating partners? Anybody care to tell me? Anyone? Say something. Say something, right? Tell me, how do you feel if you're a woman and your partner cheated? Are you gonna take him back? And if you're a man, would you take back your cheating wife who left you, went to someone else's bedroom, made a whole? Let me tell you what. A few years ago, right? A friend of mine told me this story. And he's a man. He's an eligible bachelor. He had just emerged from a long-term marriage, right? And he told me something that blew me away. He said this: men know a woman who is a cheater. And I was like, how do you know that? And he said, we can tell. And he said that there are women who are married who will cheat on their husbands. And he said, no, you won't. He said, I can tell you wouldn't. But he said, there are women who would and who do. And I said, how do you know? He said, I'm a man. They're with their husbands and they're looking at me as if they are sending me the signals that they want to be with me. And I was like, are you serious? And he said, yes. And he said, if you wonder why some of us men haven't been married, it's because we're looking at it from the point of view that, I don't know, if I marry her, get involved with her, she's going to cheat on me, then what's going to happen? Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Women are more forgiving when it comes to cheating. Oh my God. So sir, please, Mr. Mason, please tell me about why men are not forgiving when it comes to cheating. According to my Facebook friend, Devin Mason, women are more forgiving when it comes to cheating. So I want to know why women are more forgiving. Can someone tell me? Why are women more forgiving when it comes to cheating? Because I'm not. I'm that person. I'm not. I am not. I am that one woman who is not forgiving. No. I want to know. Because for me, it's not just that it's a behavior pattern. I think you might have a pattern there. I think it's the fact that you thought of it. You put effort and time into arranging to see someone. That means that you really wanted to be there. So you can't just tell me, oh, well, I was in a bad place or in a bad situation. No. For you to do it, that means you made arrangements. So you had to think it out. But you didn't think long enough and you probably thought I'd never find out, right? So then you engage in it. The minute you do, I'm out of there, because it tells me you don't care for me, you don't love me, and you will do it again and it will hurt me. And you don't care that I'm hurt. That's how I look at it. So I'm that woman who is not forgiving. I'm like, I never forget, and I'm not forgiving. And I'm like, time out. This is not good enough for me. I'm done. Right? So how do men feel about cheating spouses and partners? That I want to know. That is something I want to know, because this is just unbelievable. Wendy Williams found out her husband's mistress was giving birth. So this dude, not only did he have a mistress and cheated, the mistress got a baby. And the wife knows about it. And I'm like, why are you still there? Maybe they think they will stop cheating. That's a good one. So we're simple. Like, maybe you think if you take him back, he will stop cheating. You think so? Or women, that's how we think that maybe he will stop cheating. Or maybe there could be other considerations, like we look at the long-term big picture kind of thing, right? Where we say, well, maybe, not only won't he do it again, but we have so much together that it's better if we stay together. Maybe if I stay with him, he won't go to her. Do you think? Oh, you don't like it at all. So a man does not like it at all. So men don't like being cheated on. So why do you cheat on us? Why do men cheat on women? If you as a man don't like your partner cheating on you, why do you cheat on your partner? I want to know what kind of factors. Is it something you take for granted, something that's normal in your environment? You grew up seeing your dad do it, your uncles did it, your brother, your great uncles, your grandfather. So you think it's normal, it's a normal part of being a man? Do you feel unsatisfied? Because that's how we women think. When our partners cheat on us, we think that we can't satisfy you anymore, emotionally, physically, and sexually. That's how we think. So it's rejection for us. You're telling me you're not enough for me, and you are rejecting me. That's how we feel about it, right? I was yesterday. I talked about depression and so on, right? And we were talking about Big Sean, the artist, who confessed that he had an issue, right, with whatever. And I said, I think the root cause of it is when when he cheated on his girlfriend, his long-term girlfriend, she broke up with him. I think that's what sent him into depression. You see what I mean? Because I think it affected him because it was public. The girl whom he cheated with made the pictures public. Then the girlfriend, the long-term girlfriend, found out and she broke up with him. She couldn't stand it. So she left him. And I think it affected him. And that's what sent him into it. But he said something about it that caught my attention. He said there were a lot of toxic relationships around him. So I think sometimes why a man cheats is based on the people around him. If the men who are in his circle tell him, make him feel that it's okay, that, man, you can't just be with one woman. Are you whipped? Or, man, you just with that one chick all the time. What, she has you or something? So he feels compelled to prove that he's not just with this one chick, that this one chick is not just his thing. Wow. I think the better question is, why do people accept cheating spouses? Whoa, have you been cheated on? I don't think a lot of people will be honest about our responsibilities in situations of having our needs met and paying the proper attention to each other. I agree with that. Wow, Mr. Mason says no one should cheat on their partner, but Mr. Saleh says, I think the better question is, why do people accept cheating spouses? I don't think a lot of people will be honest about our responsibilities in situations of not having our needs met. I agree with you. I totally agree with you there, Mr. Saleh. I agree with you. Because really, when you think about it, why are we accepting cheating people anyway? Right? And it, like I said, people cheat for various reasons. Think about it. If you've been together for 10 years, 5 years, but you have a lot invested together, your money's tied together, and if you were to split, you'd have to split everything 50-50. But there's a lot of money, you probably are not going to cheat. You probably are not going to leave someone who cheats on you because you have too much invested. A few years ago, I was at a store. Men cheat to get laid. Women cheat because they're not being fulfilled. Oh my God. I should never have. It's like I opened Pandora's box here. Are you guys listening to this over here? This dude over here, Mr. Devin Mason, my Facebook friend, he's saying that men cheat to get laid. Are you serious? And women cheat because they're not fulfilled. Oh my God. And who is afraid to be alone? Men are afraid to be alone. That's why they cheat. Are you kidding? Well, hold on. Men cheat to get laid. So you're telling me you have this long-term relationship. You just had sex with your long-term partner last night, whether that's your spouse, your girlfriend, your baby mama, whatever. And then 2 days, the next day, you go and have sex with some chick just because you want to get laid. Didn't you get laid last night? For the most part, men are afraid to be alone, so they cheat. What do you mean by alone? No, dudes. No, what do you describe as being alone? I don't think so. What is being alone? Because are you not having an emotional need met? Because if you were with someone last night and you have sex with someone else today, you're not alone technically. So you must not be having a need met. This conversation is live. Emotional cheating versus physical cheating. No, I'm saying I don't know about this emotional cheating stuff. As long as they're not getting physical, But if you are tipping the iceberg and getting too emotional together, eventually you're going to get physical. That's how I look at it. So I think people need to be mindful. And I think people today are just more open about cheating. I think the gloves are off and people feel like if I'm going to do what I want to do, irrespective of how I feel about it. That's what I think. I think that's the problem, right? And people are like, are more open. So if they're gonna do what they want to do, they can hide it, they can mask it, whatever. But that's interesting though, isn't it? Isn't You guys aren't saying nothing over here. Wow. People take back a cheater because they're afraid of being alone. Oh, okay. That is valid. That is very valid. People take back a cheater because they're afraid of being alone. Let's face relationships require a lot of investment, right? Relationships are a lot of investment. You invest in someone, you become a part of someone, and then suddenly it splinters when someone cheats. So the time that it takes for you to go and be embroiled with someone else and get involved with someone else, you just can't be bothered. You just stick with the evil that you know. Emotional cheating is worse. Is that how you guys feel about it? What is emotional cheating? Emotional cheating is worse. I don't believe you. This is mind blowing. I am telling you, these comments are mind blowing because it gives us insight into how men think. Women are always wondering, well, how does a man think? How do men think about stuff? I want to be with some guy. How does he think about stuff? So this is very involved, shall we say, and very, very interesting. I'm curious. I just want to know. I'm sorry. Do I sound funny? I just want to know because I can't, for the life of me, I can't understand. First of all, I'm trying to understand the complexities of why. And let me tell you why. About 17 years ago, I was in a relationship, right? After my marriage ended. And we were living together. Apparently, we were supposed to get married, but I hadn't committed to the idea. I wasn't sure because I had come out of a really bad marriage and I wasn't sure. And he had a penchant for flirting. And he flirted with a woman who lived across the street, and I was pregnant at the time. And I was devastated. I had no idea I could react like that. I was like, because to me, if he went and flirted with her, then he wants to be with her. And if he wants to be with her, then he doesn't want to be with me. That's how I looked at it. So I said, no, it didn't work for me. I went and asked the woman. I confronted him and asked him why. He apologized and said he didn't mean it, blah, blah, blah. And then I confronted the woman. She was married. So I confronted her and I said, you're married. What are you doing? And it got to it exploded because the husband heard about it. Her husband heard about it and came and apologized to me for what his wife had done. Right? And she said, we were just having fun. It was an evening and we were just sipping margaritas and we were just having fun. And he was just so cute sitting there. And I was just like, it would be nice to just go to bed with him. I am like, really? That's how casual you look at it. So I asked him, I said, what was it? Are you fascinated? What is it? And he said, no, it won't happen again, blah, blah, blah. So we sold that house and he apologized. True. This is my life story. I'm telling you. So he said, I said, I don't want to live here anymore because I don't want to have to look at her every day knowing what happened, right? They said they were just flirting. I don't know what happened because maybe he met her at a hotel. I don't know. So he said, if you don't want to live here, I'll buy you the house of your dreams. Go find a house you like. So we moved into another community about 7 miles away. I kid you not. We moved in, and within 3 months, he flirted with the lady down the corner who is also married. That's when I said, you have a pattern. Something is wrong with you. And that was it. I was out of there. Right? He had a pattern, right? Right. If you stop doing what you did to get them, it opens up areas of vulnerability. That's not true. That's like saying that the woman is Is this in connection with emotional cheating? So you're saying that if you stop doing what you did to engage with them, then it opens up areas of vulnerability. But that is true for both men and women, though, don't you think? That both men and women. Yeah, I would think so. I would think that I feel as if we both have a responsibility to one another. If I am required to work out and keep myself attractive, he's required. You're required to work out and keep yourself attractive, right? We both have a risk because the visual look is what we liked in the first place, right? You looked at someone and you like how they look, you like something about them, right? So I feel like that. The second thing I feel like, I ask questions like, what do you like? What don't you like? I feel like we need to keep the conversation going. And you're right. What did you do in the beginning? If you stayed up with him, if you rubbed his eyes, his shoulders, whatever you did, I think we need to keep that as part of the relationship. We have to see relationships as being intimate. I think after people get together, you become lazy in the relationship. You take things for granted, right? I don't know that I agree with it opening up areas of vulnerability. I think people speculate and men are hunters. So they're always looking. Now that I've caught this one, let me go see what else is out there for me to hunt. Greed. Women cheat. Oh, women cheat when certain needs aren't met. Greed. Whatever you did to get them, keep doing. Ladies, are you all agreeing? The women are silent. I think we're learning. I think we're learning because we're learning from you guys because you're giving us some clues here. You're saying men don't like cheating. Whatever we did to get them in the first place, we need to keep doing it so that so you don't become vulnerable. I don't know that that's necessarily true. You know how I know? Because I did that and he still cheated. I did the same things and he still cheated. So I don't know. I don't think that that's necessarily true. Men have 5 needs. Listen to this. Oh, this is good. Men have 5 needs. Women have 7. That must be met. Both responsible for each other's hearts. When it's all about their needs, it becomes a problem. Oh, okay, Mr. Mason, you'll holler at me later. I miss you. I will miss you today. Wow. So men have 5 needs. What are those needs according to you, Dr. Dior Saleh? What are the 5 needs of men and the 7 needs of women? This is cute. This is too much because I just want to know, because let's look at Wendy Williams, for instance, right? She's successful, right? She has a national talk show. She probably is the one with the money in the relationship. It's clear, right? Her husband has a mistress on the side and he gets the girl pregnant. Why? Why would you do that? You know what that tells me? Either her husband has issues that have nothing to do with Wendy. His issues come from the fact that he's tired of being Mr. Wendy Williams. She liked the idea of being married, but she was looking at, if I get a baby, guess what? She's going to get some of the money. And the dude didn't see that, and husband didn't see that. Things at home can be great and they still cheat. Yes, sir. Magda Gourdet is asking, do you ever cheat? No. Why? Why would I? This is how I look at it. If I'm going to cheat on you, then you're probably not the one I should be with. So I don't cheat. The minute that I choose you, because women choose men, we choose men. Men think they choose us. We're the ones who choose. Okay? That's just a secret, right? So the minute that I'm with you, you're it. That means all of my emotional attention, all of my attention is on you. So I'm not cheating. I don't cheat. Somebody's asking me if I cheat. No. Women cheat just as much or more than men do. They hide it better. Yes, sir. Yep. Yep, because we have more to lose. And women are cheating because they probably are more open. Like, you're doing the same thing I do. Some women feel like you're doing the same thing. And I don't want to be left alone. So I'm going to keep Tom, Dick, Harry, and Jack on standby just in case you decide to leave because I don't want to be alone. I'm just saying that's today's reality. Okay, because gone are the days when a man stood by his word. You know, you meet someone and they tell you they're going to be with you. And you say, okay, let me see how long this is going to last. Today, they don't even say that. They're like, well, I don't see why we have to put a standard to it or put a name to it or whatever, because they don't want to be tied down to one person. They want to be free. Well, women are saying, okay, what works for the goose is good for the gander. So I'm going to do the same things that you do. The reason that I have reasons why I don't cheat. One, I don't. Icky. Number two, there is such a thing as diseases, sexually transmitted diseases. And if you kiss someone, you exchange bacteria with them. So whatever is in their mouth. So say you meet your cheating partner, the guy you're cheating with. Last night, he was with his partner. He had sex with them, he kissed them, whatever. I don't think that brushing and flossing and all that is going to get rid of all the bacteria. I'm a germaphobe. So I'm not doing it. So I don't want to catch germs. Everyone cheats once in their life. Magda Gorde, everyone cheats once. The question you asked is, do I cheat? No, I don't. Everyone cheats once in their life. I don't know about that. I can't speak to that. I guess some of us do it because whatever. People cheat for all sorts of reasons. Some people don't even think they're cheating. They think it's normal, depending on what they define a relationship as. This is why in today's world, men don't like to put barriers and boundaries on relationships, because in the event that they go to be with someone else, they don't want to be told that they're cheating, because they'll say things like, I've heard stories like that we weren't in a relationship in the first place. Women, spiritual leader, affirmation, romance. Oh, for women are like a spiritual leader, affirmation, romance, intimacy, openness, support, family. That's what women like. Cheat on my husband, never, not me. 19 years of marriage. Sometimes people also cheat for what is convenient, shall we say, expeditious, what is expedient for the relationship. Some people are together in a partnership, right? Or marriage, and another, they desire something else, and one partner will go sleep with someone else to make something work. Yeah. Sometimes people are in marriages long term and they have sex with other people and bring other people into the marriage. Yeah. I'm going to follow your page. Thank you, Magda. Respect. So for men want respect, sexual fulfillment, home, attractiveness, and companionship. Wow, you guys are simple. You're right. So men want respect. That's the number one thing that I hear from men all the time. They want to be respected. That's the number one thing that I hear from men. They want to be respected, right? They also want sexual fulfillment. Yeah. And they want home, and they want you to be attractive, and they want companionship. Men cheat because most women stop having fun with their partners. Dear God, help us. I'm telling you, there has to be another reason why men also cheat. Because I was delivering and he still cheated. So it wasn't lack of sexual fulfillment. I didn't disrespect him. I wasn't unattractive. The house looked like a museum. And I gave him companionship. No, there are other reasons why men cheat. Sometimes men cheat because they feel that it makes them more masculine, right? It makes them look more manly, especially in the bromance when they're around their friends and so on. And I've heard this, men sit down and talk. I mean, they talk about stuff and they say stuff like, well, why are you still with that girl? She must have something on you, or something like that. Man, you never been outside. You never tried anything since you've been with her. You haven't been with anybody. You must be losing it. When there comes an attack on his masculinity, he's going to cheat. And it's not always about whether or not a woman is unattractive. Good Lord. The most attractive women have been cheated on. That has nothing. I found that has nothing to do with it. You can look like Beyonce and they still cheat on you. So it has nothing to do with why does a man cheat. I asked my father this once. Why do men cheat? And my father is famous for having children outside his marriage. He never answered. That's one question he took to his grave. He didn't answer that question. I asked him, why do men cheat? He never answered. Never answered. I guess he didn't have a reason to, right? I guess he felt like the evidence spoke for itself, sort of. He never answered. But I asked my ex-husband, and I asked him, why do men cheat? And he didn't want to say, because I guess we were still married, so maybe he felt it would be judging. I asked my ex-boyfriend, why did you cheat? No reason. It was a mistake. What did he say? I think he said something like it was a mistake or something like that. Really? So it was a mistake to bring her all the way into your bedroom. That's a mistake. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. So I said, would you like it if I did this? And he said, no. And his face went cold when I said it. I said, would you like it if I did this to you? And he said, no. I said, so why did you do it? No answer. So then I began to see that there is a culture around him where, he's a he-man and they're all he-men around. And so when they sit down and they start talking, they get hyped up on their testosterone. So it's like little boys in a playpen, kind of. You're gonna prove who is the bigger man and who is the man, and one way to prove it is how many women you can have on a string. And I was like, well, that did it for me. I was like, well, that does it for me. Bye. Right? Much to his chagrin and his surprise, blew him away. I'm like, what did you expect? And this is where it depends on what's going on in the relationship, because sometimes when a marriage or a long-term relationship is being severed, right, it goes through multiple stages. So it depends on what is going on. And you're probably right too that a woman cheats when her needs are not being fulfilled, right? Because I can imagine if you're in a relationship and you are vulnerable and you don't realize how vulnerable you are if you have a need that's not being met, right? So let's say you have an emotional need that's not being met. You are walking around with this thing. Someone else, a predator, is going to be out there watching you and seeing that, I know he's not loving her like I would. So you start saying things like, I love you more than anybody else would, or whatever. And and sometimes if you have a sexual desire, like you have a sexual fantasy that's not being carried out. Let's just be real. People do this kind of stuff. They have a sexual need that their current partner is not fulfilling the freaky part, or maybe she's not freaky enough. I don't know. Maybe he's not freaky enough. So they go look for that sexual need. And then, of course, there's some people just have a high sex drive. So one partner can't do it for them, right? They have to have, I'm saying it with a straight face. Look, I'm trying to say this with as straight a face as possible. There are some people who simply just can't have enough. They want more and more and more. It's a thing within them. It goes back to their identity, their sexual identity, and their sexual orientation. Did you know that? So in order to prove that they're either heterosexual, they continue to just have sex with anybody. They're proving their masculinity. And sometimes for women, it's a place that was damaged when they were younger. Hence, they become promiscuous later. That's why when you see women just running around, sometimes they're in a long-term relationship, but they're still having multiple partners. That woman has an emotional need. She needs to go to therapy. She needs a counselor to sit her down and talk to her, right? So when you look at it, I appreciate your comments. This was live and direct. I mean, when you look at it in the big picture, I stumbled across a story, and as much as I had something else to talk about, it grabbed me because I'm imagining for Wendy Williams, it triggered something, right? She ended up in the hospital. That's how devastated she was when she learned that her husband's mistress was giving birth to a child. I mean, sometimes it's complicated, absolutely. And I can feel, I think every woman can identify with that, because which one of us want to find out that the side piece is having a baby? Now, if I'm married to this dude and he has some side chick out there who is about to give birth, well, I ain't getting divorced, that's for sure. He's going to stay right here and fix this. And I'm going to watch what he's going to do with the side chick. I'm like, you got someone pregnant? You must be out of your mind. You're going to pay that child support because it's not coming out of my money. Do you see what I mean? So I think for a man to lay with a woman and lay with her long enough to make a baby, that means he's trying to tell his partner that's where he wants to be. Right? So make up your mind. Which way is it going to go? Because if you're going to if you want to go with her, we're going to split. And everything is going to be split. Willing for that to happen? Okay. And in Wendy Williams' case, maybe when she married her husband, she probably doesn't even have a prenup. Right? So that means half of what she is valued at belongs to who? The husband. Guess who's going to get it? The side chick. Jesus, if that is not enough to make you ladies, you have something or you don't have something, fill out a prenup or something. Have a contract. Because now when you look at Wendy Williams, half of what she owns belongs to her husband. The side chick knew that. You know who this story reminds you of? It sounds familiar, doesn't it? You remember the story of Beyonce? Beyonce's father? Beyonce's father was married to Beyonce's mother. Then he went and cheated and got some chick pregnant, right? The girl got pregnant. They couldn't do anything else to her. She insisted she was going to have this baby. Well, at the time, Beyonce's father was also her manager. So you know what they did? They're a family. They're not about to have this chick get $90,000 a month. You know what they did? She fired him as her manager. Reduced his assets to nothing. So the chick is not getting how much in child support she thought she was going to get. Then they give her some money and she has to sign a deal that she'll never talk to the media. She'll never do this. She'll never do that. She'll never do anything. Can you believe it? Yeah. Because sometimes sometimes you guys, as much as I love you all, sometimes you guys kind of lay yourselves loose and you don't think through, you don't see what an opportunistic woman sees, right? There is a woman out there who is looking at you like, I want what your woman has. And you think it's about you. She doesn't really want you. She just wants what you have. And she is going to do what she wants to do. She's going to do what she has to do. So the quickest way to you is through your pants. So she gets in a man's pants and thereby has a hold on him for 18 long years. Actually, it's a lifetime hold because it never goes away. Some of us wouldn't be here if our parents didn't cheat. Laugh out loud. And I can't say anything because my father did that. That doesn't justify it though. That doesn't mean that I like to be the product of that. Do you see what I mean? That doesn't mean that it's okay. Right? Because I'm pretty sure that his partner had issues. Right? So that doesn't mean that it's okay. Probably explains why I'm so ultra conservative about this kind of thing, because I know of the pain that it causes other people. But I also think that men don't, I also think men don't think, because I've seen this happen in people's lives. I'm going to use my father as an example. I don't think he thought things through. I don't think he thought about the effects that it would have on someone else. Sometimes I don't think men think like that because men are not emotional beings. So they don't, not that they're not emotional, they're human. So they do have emotions, but they don't tap into it. They don't pay attention. It doesn't govern them. They're not governed by their emotions. So they really, half the times, they don't understand what it means when a woman says, how could you cheat on me? He's looking like it's no big deal. It's called betrayal, dude. And it's a lack of trust. You've broken trust. And that's very important to the sanctity of a relationship. And so people stay together for different reasons. They have a lot to lose, right? For instance, a political couple, they have a lot to lose. So even if he cheats, she's going to stay with it because it is what it is, right? She's going to stay with it because they have more to lose. If they have money, they're worth $25 million. If they split it, each person's going to get 12.5. No, we have more if we stay together. And she's probably thinking at the rate at which he's going to drop dead from a heart attack, and I'm going to get all that 25 million. Women sometimes need to think outside of it. I'm not saying when he cheats, you're to stay with it. I'm not saying that. Because for years, it caught up with me. Because for years, I would say, no, don't leave him if he cheats, work it out, and blah, blah, blah. And then it happened to me, and I didn't like it. I found that I didn't like it. It took me 2 months to even talk about it. Right? Because it had such an effect, right? Men have emotional needs and consciousness. We just don't talk about unless you the side chick. So you only talk about your emotional needs with the side chick. Let's examine that for a second. Men have emotional needs, but I did say that. I said men are emotional, they just don't tap into it. So you have emotional needs, but you just talk about it with your side chick. That's a culture thing, isn't it? That tells me that that's how the environment in which you grew up in, that's how that happens. You don't tell your wife everything. You tell it. You have to have a mistress so you can go explore your emotional needs with. And that is why the side chicks always feel like they have more power. There you go, because the side chicks tell them everything. People you wouldn't think of are cheating. I know that are for a fact. Baby, people do I have found that grown folks do exactly what they want to do, with whom they want to do it, when they want to do it. That's what I have found, right? And people, given options, people are going to do exactly what they want to do anytime they want to do it. So you can't stop them. One thing I have learned in life, if someone is going to cheat on you, you can't stop it. There's nothing, and it's futile. If you're going into a relationship and you're saying, well, I'm not going to be in a relationship with someone because they're likely to cheat, you might as well give up. Because if someone chooses, men can stop cheating if they want to. Not all men are cheaters, by the way. I have known of men who never cheated, right? I've known of 20-year marriages where men never cheated, not once, not physically nor emotionally. So everybody is not built the same, right? Some men who have been married for a while will tell you the express reason they won't cheat. They'll tell you it's expensive. Because if I cheat on my wife, one man told me plain and straight, it's going to hurt her. And I care about her. I'm not going to hurt her. Another guy said, frankly, to go be with someone else means I have to go get used to someone all over again. I'm going to have to go through that all over again. He's like, I can't be bothered with that. I just stick with who I know. So not every man is a cheater, right? And not every man thinks that, well, I got to have a side chick. My mother's husband told me once, this was when we found out mom was sick the first time in 2014. He told me, because mom was mouthing off, you're especially when you're the eldest child, you hear stuff from your parents. So mom was mouthing off. And I was like, so me now, everybody kind of tells me everything. So he was talking to me about something else, and I'm like, so what's the story with what mom is saying about this thing going on? And he, what he said? You know how old my stepfather was? He was about 70 at the time. You know what he said? Check this out. He said, every man has to have a spare. Every man has to have a spare and a spare. Did you hear that? He said, you have the real one. He said, you have the wife and then you have a spare. You got to have a spare and assistant. I was rolling on the floor. That's what he said, the spare and the assistant. I was like, oh. I was totally blown away by this because it sounds like, can you dig it? And I said, well, what's up with that? He said, it's just the way of a man. But do you see, that's a mindset. I remember telling my ex-boyfriend about it, and he's like, I gotta meet that dude and shake his hand. Right? It's a mindset. In his mind, he's thinking, even though he has his wife, he wants to have other people. It's okay for him to have other people. So really, I think it's left up to the man. It comes from his background, how he was raised, because there's some men who cheat, right? and their wives don't know, or even when she knows, he just tells her, I ain't leaving, she ain't going nowhere, I'm not leaving. That's usually people who have a lot of money and a lot to lose, right? They're like, man, to go split my money up, no, man, I'm not doing it, right? And you're all sitting there looking at me and laughing. People you wouldn't think of are cheating. Girls, you'd be surprised what people do in their bedrooms. People lie that they're at work when they go make an appointment and they run back home, or they go get a hotel. That's why there are hotels. Hotels have the biggest secrets. They don't tell anything. You would be surprised how people in business cheat. People have business deals on the line. Heck yeah, they're going to go get up and have sex with someone. You'd be surprised. If the feds could talk about people whom they're watching, right? They might be interested in trying to capture someone's conversation, and they're tapping phones and the stuff they hear that the people are doing with other people. If they want to destroy people's lives, they could show you, they could send the spouse pictures. When you think your husband is at work or when you think your wife is at home, this is who is doing what. People sneaking people in the trunks of their cars into their garages, and no one knows the person is in the car. I knew a guy once who was a cop, and his wife was cheating on him. Now, personally, I think she's brave. Don't you think? You're dating a man with a gun who has license to kill, and you are cheating on him? And he said for some reason he was at work, and something just told him to go home. And when he said when he drove up, nothing seemed out of place. Her car was in the driveway. Nothing seemed out of place. Everything just seemed normal. And he said something kept telling him to go inside. And when he went inside, there was a man in there with her in the bedroom that they had just woken up out of. So, and I was like, well, were you guys having sex or weren't you having sex? He said, we had a very healthy sex life. He said he was shocked to find out. And he was shocked. And I said, Jesus? Because by this time now, I'm thinking he must have heard someone. He said, no. He said, it's the calmest he has ever been in his life. He just told the guy to get up and get out of his house. And his wife was like, oh my God, she thought she was dead. She thought the guy was going to die. Maybe that was part of her thing, right? And he said he had to look at it and wonder what made her cheat. And he said, I don't want you anymore. So I'm not coming back home tonight. And that was it. That was the end of the marriage. They had been together for 12 years. And that was the end of it. That was the end of that marriage. Seriously. And he said the guy was so frightened. The guy thought he was going to kill him. And he told the guy, he said, this has nothing to do with you. This is about me and her. And he said, while he heard them coming up the stairs, he could hear them. And he was like, oh my God. He was like, he felt like he was walking into a movie. And he felt like his whole body just became like lead. That's why he couldn't do anything. Because he said he couldn't believe it. Because he was like, anything could happen. Do you see what I'm saying? I am going to tell everybody this. In today's world, I don't suggest anybody cheat on anybody. Because you don't know. Because there is rising up a spirit and a group of people who are not going to put up with this cheating stuff anymore. Good morning, WKDM Jazz Detroit just joined, right? There are a group of people are not going to put up with it. So I don't suggest that you go out and cheat on anybody. Sometimes you don't even know how bad it is or how it's going to hurt someone else. Do you see what I'm saying? I know people who have had issues. You don't know what's going on in someone's mind. People have serious issues. There are people who, as a result of cheating, have lost relationships that meant everything to them. Sometimes a man is not even aware of how much he's attached to someone or how much someone means to his emotional equilibrium. And he cheats. And then that person leaves and he's devastated. I know somebody who it took them 3 to 4 years to emerge out of a depression because when they got divorced, they were cheating, and the cheating that they did caused the separation, made the wife go in a different direction. And then afterwards, it took them years to emerge out of it. Do you see where I'm coming from? Cheating is bad. Cheating is bad. Let's just say that. Nod our heads and say cheating is bad. Frankly, don't be with someone whom you're not going to like in a year or two. So if you are dating multiple people, choose one. Choose the best one for you. The one whom you think you are most likely going to spend the longest time with. Because for some of them, you can say, I can see this one dissolving in 2 years, 3 years, that one even not even 3 months, right? So choose someone and stick with that one person, right? There are plenty of ways. Sex is the most important thing because it keeps everything together. But you know what really keeps everything together is companionship, is when you talk to one another, when you share with one another, right? Share your life with one another, open up. I don't know why you have to tell the side chick about your emotional needs. You're damaging your major relationship because you are not sharing. So your wife is going to go to counseling and say, well, he never talks. He doesn't tell me anything. How do I know that that's how he feels? He never talks. You're the problem because you won't share with your wife. No, guys, I'm talking to men right now because men, sometimes you feel like, I don't want to be so vulnerable to one person, Harriet. I don't want her to feel like she has power over me. Where do you get that from? Why do you think that sharing your emotional needs with your intimate partner is giving her power over you? No, that's not true. You are building something. So now you have someone who is going to be so loyal that if something dares to come near you or happen to you, she's going to kill everybody to protect you. That's what you guys miss. So if you're telling the side chick because you feel like the side chick is not invested, you're not invested in the side chick, you can tell her whatever and she doesn't have, that kind of emotional power. So it's just something you go into and you slide into every day or every 3 times a week. And no, that's wrong. That's wrong. The best person for you to invest in and to develop with, I only have a few more minutes left. The conversation is good though. But the best person for you to divulge all of that to is your intimate partner, right? You gotta tell that person how you really feel. What do you really feel? That's the best person to do that with. Forget all this other stuff, right? Cheating is bad because right now we're looking at Wendy Williams. Her husband is probably just sitting back there. This is probably the only way he felt he could get out of that marriage safely. All women aren't nurturing. My partner is overbearing and don't listen. Okay, then you're with the wrong partner. Simple. All women aren't nurturing. Find one who does. What did I say? Find the best partner who matches your needs. What are your needs? Do you know what your needs are? You have to know what your needs are. You see what I mean? Find the partner who matches your needs. Some men don't even realize exactly what they need until it's no longer there. So you think that having like 3 or 4 women is going to satisfy you because you think you get something out of each one. But there's actually one of them who satisfies you, fulfills you, right? You didn't realize you had an emotional need. But somehow that person satisfies that and they satisfy you sexually. Find a partner who best suits you. That's all. That's the best. That's the only way out of that one, right? It can't just be that all women aren't nurturing. Then you need nurturing. Find the one who does. That's the one who works for you. Some of the strongest men need someone at nights to hold them. The man who is all day, when he goes home, he can't be bothered with all that. He's the man in the dining room. He's the man in the living room. He's the man everywhere else. When he gets in the bedroom, he just wants to drop everything. And that's the person who gives the most, like everybody taking out of him. He's important to everybody. Everybody do this, do this, do this. When he gets home, he needs someone who totally gives him all of her attention. So if you have an overbearing partner who doesn't listen, leave. Find the one who suits you. And don't tell me, well, she has some other qualities. Here's the thing. What is it that you want? Because sometimes we judge people based on the 80-20 rule, right? So you meet someone, that's what happened to you all with your side chicks, right? Are you married? No. Right? You meet someone who satisfies 80% of what your needs are. But then you meet the side chick, and the side chick grabs you with just 20%. And guess what you do? You make a decision based on the 20%. If your partner is overbearing and won't listen, is that all that you don't like about her? Okay, if she's good in 80% of the relationship, then by all means you stick with that one, right? I wouldn't suggest you go find somebody who is not overbearing and who does listen, but who doesn't satisfy you, the other parts of your needs. Everybody has different needs, right? You have a need for different things and specific things that you need answers for, or you have that need that needs to be met, right? The reason I haven't been married is because it took me a while to I know what I want, and I know what I need. See what I mean? What I want and my needs are two different things, right? Of course, I'd like tall, dark, handsome, and good-looking Brad Pitt all day long, or good-looking Denzel or Idris Elba all day long. But is that what I need? Perhaps not. It took me some time to find what I need, right? All right, somebody is saying the ones that has all the knowledge never be. I think it's because you understand yourself. Yeah, I understand myself, and it's very, and sometimes that might be intimidating to a partner, right? Because sometimes they don't want you to figure them out, or they just want. I find people are very subtle these days. Sometimes people they're not interested in depth, right? Some people not even 20%, they be with each other for silly reasons and waste of time. You're right. In 2008, 2009, people were getting married real fast. You know what we found out? People were getting married because of a tax return. They wanted to have a dependent to get back tax returns. People want surface only. People are not deep today. People don't want to be, and then they say they're not satisfied and they're not fulfilled. Well, what are you looking for? There are plenty of people who are out there who will satisfy you if that's what you're looking for. But people, I think a lot of it, you don't judge me, but I think a lot of it has to do with, guess what? Television. We've been subliminally, intuitively informed that the only need that is important is sexual. Hence the reason why they ply us with soft porn. Soft porn is watching all these commercials and advertisements about underwear. That's soft porn. Lotion, a woman stroking her half naked leg, that's soft porn, right? That is soft porn, right? So we've been intuitively taught, especially for men, they know how to get you. So you've been taught that the way up a woman's legs, you have to travel up her legs. And you've been taught that the only need you have that is important is your sexual need. So you ignore all the other needs that you have. And that's why, but you're a real human being. So you're a person. So you look at someone and you say, well, they satisfy me sexually. And then over time, you're like, it's a drag to be here. You don't want to go home because they have other situations that turn you off. So in my case, somebody's asking me why I'm not married. I understand myself. It makes no sense for me to go be with someone I don't like or I don't want to be with. It doesn't make sense. I would rather wait to find the person who best suits me, however long that process is, and then be with that person, because I'm not going to have multiple relationships and multiple partners and multiple people. I'm not into that. That's just not, it's not me. For some others, it's okay. But for me, it just doesn't work for me. You see what I'm saying? So I understand myself. So I kind of just stay away from it, right? And I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to be with someone like Wendy Williams is going to find out that her husband has a woman pregnant. Yeah, so I want to be in tune with a person on a real level. The meeting of the minds. I have found that where the minds meet, those are the best relationships. Yeah, life is rocky, you're human, but those are going to last. And true, yeah, so I want to be with someone who understands themselves and know themselves so that they can pull out of me what they need to make themselves better, right? And I have found that when you love them, you will do whatever it takes to keep it going and to be with them. And sometimes there are some people who don't understand that. It's Can I be honest with you? You are lucky and blessed if you find someone who loves you, right? You are very lucky and very blessed if you find someone who loves you and you love them. Shout out to you. When you find your true love, oh my gosh, can you just say thank you? When you find someone who loves you and you love them, and oh, that is a beautiful symphony. The angels in heaven are singing. It makes life so much better, doesn't it? Those are the marriages that stay together. Years ago, I knew a couple who, I don't know if the husband cheated. He never told me because I was friendly with his wife, right? So I don't know. They were, up until their death, they had been together for about 22 years. They met when they were young, right? And they stayed together and had children together. And I kid you not, when everybody else's marriage was rocky and so on, those two people were always showing up and counseling everybody else. They were just silent. So I had to ask, what gives? They said they really love each other. And she had never cheated on him. He didn't say whether he had or not, but he just said, my wife never had any reason to cheat. He said, she loves me and I love her. He was completely devoted to her. She was completely devoted to him. It was a beautiful thing. Consequently, when they both got ill and died, it hurt the rest of us. Wow, I just got a 100, right? Thank you. But do you see what I'm saying? So I feel like, can I just be honest with you? I just feel like when you find the right, can we all just find the right person? Find the person who best suits your needs. Ask yourself, because that's what I did. I asked myself, what's important to me? After I was in a long-term relationship and they cheated on me, I asked myself, what's important to me? And that's why for the next several years, I said, we gotta, I can't just talk to anyone. I have to find the person who best suits me. You see what I mean? It's a long, arduous process, but guess what? It saves me a lot of heartache and a lot of pain, right? And you don't get involved with multiple people who leave their baggages with you and so on. You just stay the course. So when you meet someone, you say, this is it. This is what it comes down to, right? Right. Someone is saying, because you have to still be dating someone forever, it keeps you wanting more when you stop dating. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. You have to look at the person you're with. This is part of the problem why we become disinterested in our partners. We stop viewing them as attractive, not just physically, but emotionally, intellectually, right? Because we've been socialized to think that once you have the person, you have homogenized them. So you place them in the house and that's all they know. They've suddenly just become an expert on you, but that's all they are, right? And we stop dating them. Guys, you need date nights. You need just not one date night a week. You need 2 date nights a week every day. You remember how when you were courting one another, you used to text each other and say, wait till I see you later. I'm going to blow you up later. Remember the things we used to say and the pictures we would, especially today with, let me shut up, right? Text each other, talk to each other through the day. Not just about, did you pay the light bill? Did you pay the taxes? Did you pay the water bill? Did you put the money away? I'm not going to repeat that. The island accent and all that beauty would have kept me in the yard. Oh, that's so sweet of you. But seriously, though, do you see what I mean? Don't just text each other and talk about stuff, the banal stuff of life. Well, did you pay the light bill? Did you pay the water bill? You're such a nerd. You're such a dud. Give me mother. The stuff that we do that is so, why? And when you met them, you thought they were the greatest thing to ever hit your planet and the best thing since sliced bread. No, still text each other in the middle of the day. Text each other and say, wait till I get home. I got a surprise for you. Stuff like that. Talk to each other, not just about did they fix the garage or did they paint her calm, or just text each other, say, I'm thinking of you. Really? In the middle of a meeting, and you text him and say, I'm thinking of you. He's going to smile. He's going to think somebody really loves me enough. Make him something special. He calls you to say, man, you wouldn't believe what's happening. I am having the day from hell. No, no, no. You say, okay, baby, wait till you come home. I'm going to take care of you. When he comes home, you have dinner ready or something special for him. And so he feels like, you really value me, don't you? Someone values me. Do you see what I mean? When you're with someone whom you care about or who cares about you, you have to make them feel as if they're the most important person in the world. Some men don't realize what they have until they have lost it. Truth. That is true. Right? You have to make them feel like they're the most important person in the world, no matter what you do. When I was dating my ex-boyfriend, he knew me, right? But when I was with him, I was with him. I wasn't Harriet Kamek. I was just a woman in love with a man. I made him feel like, you understand what I'm saying? And guess what? I guess he didn't understand it or appreciate it until he lost it. Too late, buddy. Too late, right? Sometimes we don't have to tell you. You should know. A man needs to know when he has met the right person. And you need to know when something is good for you and when something is not. And I know you can have a million options. That's part of the problem. You tell yourself you have options when you really don't have any option. You know how I know you don't have any option? Because if they were options, you would have been with them and stayed with them. The fact that you are dating with someone that you just met means they're not an option. So you're telling yourself that I'm the man, I have all sorts of options. You really don't. Your time is running out. We are human beings with a finite time on this earth. We have only this much time. And as we age, as we grow, I like to say growth, As we grow, some parts of us don't work well. And especially you expose yourself to drugs and drinking and smoking and so on, your body starts wearing down. You really need to be with someone who is going to be loyal on those days when you need to be picked up from the doctor, on those days when you have to have chemotherapy or the doctor says we have no choice, but we have to do surgery, and you need someone to be with you on those times. You need someone to be there for you when you get pulled over, and you want to call someone who is going to show up and tell you about it. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're right. We really don't have the power that we think we have. No, we don't. You need someone you can go home and talk to. Not just about the banal stuff you're going to tell. We're in the social. We have too much access to other lifestyle. Exactly. But look at all the other people in social media whose marriages, they get married and they get together for 6-7 months and then they fall apart. You know what happens? People think you have options. We really don't. Can you just hear it from me? We really don't. Right? We really don't have the options you think you have. You have this one person that's the best choice for you. Stay there and work with it. Don't tell yourself because some chick over there gives you the best head you have ever had, you're going to make a decision on having head. There will come a time when your penis won't even be able to stand up. Then what you going to do? What you going to do? And that's the person who gave you the best head is the person who is not likely to take care of you. They're going to be, I can't be bothered with you. Right? They're the person who is not likely to bring you a glass of water. They're the person who will not wake up in the middle of the night when you feel a pain in your left side or in your arm and you need to go to the emergency room because you're having a heart attack. That's the person who probably won't even know that they need to give you an aspirin if you're having a stroke or a heart attack. Hello, somebody. I'm educating someone this morning. Watch out now, right? I'm helping somebody. So you are making choices. All of us, we make choices based on things that are indefatigable. I mean, they're things that I don't understand why we even choose people who are not good for us in the first place. Yes, we have had issues. We have all been exposed to some sort of dysfunction, right? We have all had issues, but we are educated now. We have seen enough. We've read enough now to know that we need to fix ourselves, right? And now that we've fixed ourselves, it's time to make informed decisions about the best people to be with. You can't just be with anybody. You have to think strategically and long term. Guys, some of you are taking women home with you. You ever really stop to think that that girl could be arranging for her brothers and her cousins to come knock you out and beat you up and rob you? Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about that? That same girl could be making arrangements for that? And you just see some girl and you start dating her in 2 weeks, and in 2 days, 3 days, you take her home with you. Are we thinking? Women, the same thing for us. This little emoji, a double tap, and this will make a woman or man put it all on a line. Right? That's true. Okay? We make decisions too rash based on sexuality, based on our sexual desire, based on how we feel sexually. When your hormones get happy, you make it. No, stop. Some of you, I see some guys with some people, and I'm like, did you stop to think what you were doing? What were you doing? What were you thinking at that moment? Right? You're going to be one of those guys who end up in a situation married to some chick who's going to park you in a nursing home. And she leaves you in a nursing home while she goes home to be with her man. Because she can't, and she tells you, look, die so I can be with my man. You're stopping me from being with my man. Right? Yes, you did. Thank you. It was a great conversation. Thank you for stopping by. You certainly helped. Thank you so much. Right? But do you see what I'm saying? So we need to make informed choices. We need to do better at this. I really think a lot of people get married just because of love and they think it's love. Absolutely. So work it out for a minute. Keep having sex and see how long it lasts. Again, it's the 20%. You have to think strategically. When you are choosing a partner, you have to treat it the same way you would when you're going to buy a car. Do you just walk into a dealership and buy a car? No. You think strategically about that. You investigate. You find out if everybody else, how much they're selling this car for. You find out, is this the best car for my needs? I go to work every day. It's the same way you need to think about a partner. Right? It's the same way you need to think about a partner. You need to think about a partner in terms of, I am 45. Is this person likely to be with me when I turn 50, when I turn 55? Is this person likely to take me to the doctor? Is this person likely to take my socks off one night when I come home and I can't? Or is she likely to go out with her friends and just party and turn up and go have a drink? Just because while I need her at home. My ex-boyfriend told me one time that he was dating this girl, and the reason he broke up, she couldn't understand, was he was working, and when he couldn't be with her, she would go out with her friends and hung out. He said it bothered him because he was like, so if I marry her, then while I'm at work, she's still going to go out with her friends. So she's going to be exposed to more people. She's likely to cheat. He said that relationship, she went and married someone else and she was divorced in 2 years. Same attitude, same behavior. Do you see what I'm saying? But he thought strategically because he's thinking, I want someone who demonstrates. He's thinking he wants someone who demonstrates longevity and being, staying the course. I'm just saying, people, and feed your box macaroni and Hot Pockets. Oh my God. I don't know. Some of you guys look at the picture. You see these girls on social media and they take pictures and post pictures and they turn up. And you want that. It excites you for a period of time and you want that, right? And then what can they make you dinner? Can they make you dinner? That you've made a valid point. They feed you macaroni and cheese from a box and Hot Pockets. Can they cook a meal? Do they know what a slow cooker looks like? Have they ever turned an oven on? Right? Have they ever put a pot of water on the stove to boil when they're not dumping macaroni and cheese in it? Do they know how to make a salad? Right? It depends on what, guys, I'm telling you, make strategic decisions. Women, same thing. You're choosing a man, choose a man based on, if something were to happen to me, is he going to be here or is he going to run to Sally? Think strategically. Is this someone who is likely to be there for me? Is this someone who will take care of my children, take care of me and my children? Is this someone who will take care of himself for me, knowing that taking care of himself is ensuring his longevity too? Some of you guys, you go out and hang out and you drink too much. You eat late at nights. Hi, you're breaking down your kidney. It's giving you excess insulin in your bodies. I'm just saying. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. Do you see what I'm saying? So we need to think strategically. I gotta go. We got stuff to do. It's Thursday. It's busy, right? But we need to think strategically when we're choosing partners, right? And please, I'm begging you, guys and girls, it's a dangerous time we live in. Don't cheat. Okay? People kill people. And sometimes we think that not flirting is not cheating. Yes, as someone said earlier, emotional cheating is just as bad. It is, right? Because it prevents you from seeing your spouse in the right light. Choose the right person for you based on the 80%. Everybody is not going to be 100%, but choose them based on the 80%. I can't stress it enough. Do not choose someone because they gave you good head. That's not long term. I'm serious. That's not going to make life. I promise you, we all have grown. We have history now. We've seen it with our parents. So we have the history and we have the evidence, right? So choose someone based on your needs, and choose someone, your needs, not your need to feel sexually gratified. That lasts all of 3 seconds. And when it's done, it's done. Choose someone who understands life. We're getting older. We need to choose partners who think strategically, who have a long-term plan, not somebody who is going to tell you to buy them a Mercedes and you're 55 and you're working in the plant. Come on. You can't get that anywhere, but quality is rare, right? I think sometimes we don't make decisions on partners based on quality. That's true. I don't think we do. Listen, honestly, you can download an app and you can have someone come over and give you head any day, anytime. That's not quality. You need someone who's going to wipe up the place after that. Someone who's going to say, I'm making you a sandwich. Tomorrow morning, they're going to get up and make sure the garbage is out, the car is washed. Hey, the sheets are washed, the stuff is clean. Quality of life is important. Somebody is saying, stop it, laugh out loud. Right? Right? Quality of life is more important. Someone who can interface with you and your colleagues and the people you work with, right? Someone who understands life. Make strategic decisions about the partners that you choose. You can't just choose everybody, right? And we need to, can we just examine, this is the last thing. Just examine our circle a little bit. Look at the people in your circle and what they're telling us about the people whom we should be with. That's the most important thing. Because sometimes we get rid of the right person because the people in our circle don't like them. Oh, she's too much. Oh, I don't like her. Because they're playing to your ego. Especially if you're the one in the circle who has the most money. You better be careful because they don't want to see you do well, right? They want to keep you to themselves because you're always buying out the bar and paying for everything for them. So they don't want someone who is going to put her foot down and say, no, this is not the time to do this. They're also not going to want someone who's going to call you and tell you to come home. That's why they tell you not to be with that one. Because she says, come home. She says, I'm waiting on you. They want you to be with someone who doesn't care because she doesn't care either because she's out with her friends partying. What is life about? You see the influence of media that tells you that life is just one grand party? No, it's not. Right? They're not happy unless you're unhappy with them. Yeah. Right? Life is not one grand party. You want to know what real life is made up of? Children. Making decisions about children. What's for dinner? Which bill is paid? Trips to the doctor for a checkup. Trips to the doctor because they see something. Right? That's what real life is made up of. Mortgage payments. Car note payments. Insurance payments. Grocery shopping. Do we go on vacation this year or do we not? Do we put on a new roof or do we not? Do we buy a new front door? It's spring. Are we going to cut the lawn cleaned up? That is the stuff that real life is made of. But if we buy into this thing that real life is made up of just having a party and the feel good, you are never going to feel good perpetually. It's a lie from the pit of hell. And every one of us has been suckered into that. The people who are famous and rich, they have the same things too. They bought into it. And before you know it, people end up with the wrong partners. And the real people say, I'm not. The first thing you know that you're with a real one is when you mess up, they say, I'm not going to deal with that. I can't handle that. How are we going to navigate that? It's like Big Sean. He's had multiple people, multiple girlfriends, but this last one was the real one. And when he cheated, she left him. And that's when he found out she was the real one. And she's like, no, I'm not taking you back because you'll cheat again. And your day every week for pampering so your stress levels stay low, right? Make strategic decisions. Thank you all so much, right? Make strategic decisions. Choosing a partner is just as strategic as everything else that you do. It's just as strategic as buying a car, buying a house. It's an investment in you and your life. Choose the right person so you never end up cheating, right? Don't just be with someone because they have a lot of money and then you don't really like them, so you're not staying with them. You see what I'm saying? So you were with them because of the fame and the glory, but you really don't like them as a person. So you end up feeling available and feeling like your needs aren't being met. Yikes. Okay. I love you all. Thank you for being a part of me. I gotta go, right? Thank you for being a part of my Thursday morning experience. Make sure you come back and join us, right? I feel like you should share this message with someone. It's made us all think about stuff. It's not just you. It's me too. It's made us all think about stuff that we need to think about, right? Thank you so much, everybody. I love it that you love me. I love it that you love me. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Be blessed. And remember, the best is still yet to come. That's it. That's your word right there, right? Isn't it? That's your word. The best is yet to come. Be blessed, everybody. I so love it. Thank you, Facebook. Oh my gosh. Thanks, everybody. Be blessed.